Alright, what's up guys, welcome to the video. So today I'm gonna be reacting and also giving my thoughts on Assassin's Creed Valhalla's gameplay trailer. It's been a really long time and now we finally have a gameplay trailer and it's 30 freaking minutes. So I'm not gonna talk anymore and we're just gonna get into the trailer and I'm gonna talk and express my thoughts on it along as we watch it. Alright, so let's just get into the video. Ooh, right off the start. Yeesha.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ubisoft Forward post show. My name is Yusuf McGeed and this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to take a deep dive into about 30 minutes of gameplay and we're joined by a very special guest here.
Hey everyone, this is Philippe Bergeron, otherwise known as Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Okay.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on here.
Ooh.
Yeah, so here we're midway through.
I think these were the leaks that were out. These footage were actually the leaks that were out like 1 month ago, I think.
So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of the story. And so here Eivor,
nice.
our Viking raider, is taking a group of raiders and Fyrds into Bird Castle to go and take down.
And also it looks like they have changed all some of the aesthetics of how it looks. Like drastically from Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Basically, Rued comes into play about halfway through this story arc, where at the beginning of the arc, this is something that happens before. Rued basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the sort of elderman to be,
this looks really good.
This territory needs your help to take him down. Oswald having just been defeated.
I mean, the NPCs looks like they're gonna really adapt to your gameplay style and gonna make it difficult for you to play and defeat them.
Can you tell us a little bit
nice,
about
you can
the
stomp.
changes to combat this time around?
We wanted to basically add a lot of new mechanics to it. So we added like some dual wielding for the player, like a stun system in there. And we really needed to do this to sort of portray that sort of the brutality that comes with being a Viking.
Oh, I like the animations.
The time and the character.
Yeesh. Badass, man, badass.
Oswald, he lives. Oswald lives!
Eivor, is that you? Shut your ass, twig spine.
Here, Eivor has taken her entire army through the assault, and finally, it's revealed that our Elderman, our ally, Oswald, is still alive, and Rued has him captive.
So this is what it comes to, Wolfkist? 2 Danes fighting over a filthy Saxon whoreson? If this swine is your prize, come and get him.
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive, we have Rued.
This is
within
like a
our
final boss
sights.
fight.
What's the next step here?
So the next move for Eivor is to finally face off against Rued. She has her allies; they can take care of the rest of the army.
It looks good,
now
man.
It's time to go one-on-one against.
And I'm really liking the gameplay.
In one of our boss battles, actually.
Like I like the indicator, which is good, which is very minimalistic and doesn't intrude with how you play and when you play.
And it's worth pointing out actually that here what we're showing is the player going and facing off against Rued aggressively, but we tend to always
like
have
that.
To support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthily and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Rued or his wolf, and so you can play this a little bit more strategically.
I see that you have certain abilities on your right,
So we're not only
and
fighting
also on
Rued
the
here,
left
but
you
also
have
his
long range
wolf,
abilities, I
right?
think.
Here, one of my preferred strategies is to eliminate the wolf first, just focus fire on him. It takes at least one opponent out of the combat. Now Rued will have extra abilities that come into play if you do eliminate his wolf, but I think having
getting his
one
ass
opponent
kicked.
less in the battlefield makes for a good strategy in the whole.
I like that stomp.
Only the cold
I think a lot of people will enjoy that too.
awaits you.
Valhalla is my destiny. That fate will not be met today. Why doesn't they should be roomed, Wolfkist?
For a demo footage, I would say that this actually looks pretty good. Not bad.
Do not drag me down.
And I would say that is what I expect from Ubisoft.
Does a Dane fight tooth and nail for a Saxon?
And they have really revamped the game.
You throw in with these wastrels? These arrogant swine.
A lot of people, when the leaks were out, they were saying that it looks a lot similar to Odyssey and they didn't do a lot of change. And I would actually say that they
Oswald, in this case,
did a lot of
prefers
changes.
for Rued king. So here,
Oh.
Eivor is going around and trying to convince people to fight in the name of Oswald.
Okay,
To finally
okay, that
take
is
down
nice.
The oppressor that is Rued.
Defending East Anglia.
Okay, so you can actually go and interact with other NPCs and actually get them to fight with you.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
that is a new
he's really
feature.
using like the image and like the leadership that Oswald had, what he meant to the people in his name. She's going to recruit these people.
That I think will actually help you to be even more immersed into the open world scenario or the environment.
There are allies that he could
That
add
is a
to
pretty
our
good
cause,
feature. I
but
like it.
First, we sort of need to do him a favor. Is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory, so I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope. And so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations by taking a couple men and raiding
Ooh,
a
that looks
nearby,
good.
township, basically taking it back for the people and showing that there's
Okay, that I think they
reason
need to fix. They
continue
need to
fighting
make it a little bit
and
more
then get them on
natural
your side.
than that. Okay, is this the raiding scene? He's dead. Okay, nice. And I also like the zoom out feature where you can see a lot more of the enemies and you can actually prepare for your attacks. Oh, I like the animation, like the finishing moves.
Eivor does this, obviously you have
It's really
access
good.
to a full suite of abilities. So again, the improvements that
Oh,
we've
nice.
done to the fight system. You have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like range combat abilities in there as well. So really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your
Oof.
loadout and go in there how you wish.
Is he on fire? What is this?
Fizz, we just saw this giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our
okay.
interpretation of the eagle vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world.
Oh.
When player uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects like things that will
Nice,
bring
I
her
like
advantage.
those
So
finishing
we'll
moves.
have arrows, like health consumables that are in there. So it really is like a good
Okay.
way of sort of
Nice.
understanding the world and showing you.
So that eagle sight
things
is
that you
Odin
can
sight.
go and touch.
Okay. Okay, and the chests are back.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
It's something
Okay,
we
yeah,
wanted
let's
to
see
play with
how the
on
progression
Assassin's
is for the
Creed
weapons.
Valhalla, where we have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest
Oh,
them more, so
nice.
they become your
Okay, so there are
weapon.
breakable
So depending
environment.
what
Okay,
your
nice.
preferred playstyle is or your preferred weapon type, then you can go and choose.
Okay,
I'm
this
gonna-
this feels a lot
gonna
more like
fight
what
with this weapon and invest heavily into
Ubisoft
that.
should make.
Not only are we looting weapons, but we see something here called the Book of Knowledge. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They unlock skills for the player. So here you can see the Valkyrie dive that has just been unlocked. We have these spread out throughout the world. So again, to promote exploration and discovery, as you travel through the world and you explore locations. you can
Odyssey was
find these
actually a
books that will
lot,
add
like
abilities that
really
you can
engaging.
go
Like the open world has
and
actually
invest in,
had a
put
lot
into
more
your
things in it,
loadout,
and
go
I
into
feel like they
the
built
different
upon it,
locations with the
and
different
it's good to see
quests in the
that.
game and use those
Because I think a lot of
depending on what your
players
playstyle
will
is.
actually put a lot of hours into not just finishing the game, but
Now
also
we've
exploring the
recaptured this
entire world.
village, we've secured more troops for our assault. Let's jump back now and figure out what we want to do with Rued.
The rightful king of East Anglia has spared your life today, and so it will be.
Seriously, you just go away. You got your life back.
Compassion is a virtue suited for anyone, Eivor, including you. Thank you.
Eivor decided to let him live. Rued is
I wish
really
people
angry about
would
that.
still talk
Being
like
an Norse
that
Viking,
nowadays,
being put to the death
instead
in
of just
battle
saying,
is
"That's
your
awesome,
road
man."
to Valhalla.
Like,
So he was
compassion is a
basically
true
denied
virtue
access
of
to Valhalla in this
an
situation.
amazing human being.
Obviously, all
That
these
sounds really
decisions
good.
come into play later on in the game, so we have very difficult decisions for the player to make. We didn't want to have easy decisions.
I thought
You know, when I
Eivor
was
was
playing, I
actually
decided to
the
listen to
male
Oswald
character and the
say
female
Rued's
character's
wife,
name would be
but
something else.
What exactly is the relationship like between
I don't think that
Eivor
that
and
that
Oswald?
is
So the relationship between Eivor and Oswald
Because I've heard that in the
is an
Viking culture or in the
alliance. It's,
Viking,
basically Eivor is
yeah, in
surrounded
the
by
Viking culture that
territories,
sometimes
that
male and
initially getting
female,
into
there is no
are
differentiation
hostile
between
towards
male
her.
and female names, and
Obviously,
it's
if you
very
want to
fluid.
set up a new settlement, you
Yeah. I
wanna
don't know if
have
I'm right on
relationship
that.
with
I've
your
heard
neighbors,
of that,
right?
but I'm not sure if
So
I'm
here in East
right about it.
Anglia,
So
Oswald
if I'm
was the
wrong,
man
forgive me
the
for that.
job where putting him, you're trying to help a kid with his cat and ultimately get that cat to sort of join your crew as
Really?
a cat raider.
You just said cat raider way too casually.
Yeah.
You're telling me I could have a cat Viking raider
Oh,
on my
that
launcher?
is gonna be
That's
awesome.
exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god, yes, I love it.
That is gonna be awesome.
So yeah, as you're riding around the
I think that's the
rivers of
first thing that I'm
England,
gonna
you
do
can see a
when
cat
I'm
basically
starting this
walking
game.
around your longship, keeping your Viking.
Have a
Oh,
similar version
nice.
of
They're
that?
actually lifting
Yeah,
it
so
up.
this is something we actually wanted
that's
the,
good.
the crew of your ship to become like your home away from home. So we added stories and songs into
That is nice.
the ship. So basically,
That reminds me of
as the player
Spider-Man,
is going
like when
around, you can
J.
decide
Jameson
to
would
have
like
your
come up on the
skulls or sing a
radio,
song for you as
and
you
then he
row
would
down the
like shit
river.
about
But you can also
Spider-Man and
decide,
also the
depending
city
on
and all that.
who the raiders are
That was
in your
actually
ship,
nice. That
to
was
hear
a
more
nice
about their
addition
life. So
to
you can
Spider-Man.
actually queue up stories,
That's
and it'll
good.
give you a little bit more background on who they are. So you get to know your sort of fighters as you're traveling around the world, which is a cool moment.
So here we're seeing a bit of a different view. What exactly are we looking at?
We had this on previous Assassins where you would like
come
ride
on.
on your horse and you could pull out, have the horse sort of follow the track. We have a similar thing for the ship where you can put up your sails. It's cruise control for the ship, so you can pull back, take in the scenery, listen to some songs or some stories, and just take it all in.
It's just like Odyssey, I think. Odyssey and the one before that, Origins.
Speaking of Viking songs, we have an activity here that's not exactly singing, but kind of related, right?
Yeah, so here what we have is what we call flighting, which was an activity that Norse people would partake in. They would like to have a battle of wits and sort of poetry where insults would be thrown back and forth between each other. The idea was to try and have a good insult, but also to have a good rhythm and a good rhyme in there. So it's basically a precursor to rap battles.
Okay, that's nice.
Here's the silver. Now begin.
Is he gonna start rapping?
To all those whom I speak, they say Eivor's a clod.
Oh, you can actually rap? Okay, you can actually sing with
Then
them.
you're speaking to fools and their knowledge is flawed.
Well,
How exactly do you go about being successful in one of these?
The trick behind a good flight was to choose the right insult, identifying the right cadence, and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
I'm known for my might.
interesting. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Silent
This will be
whispers all
fun.
claim that you're terribly dense.
Oh, come on. That's not good. Then you clearly misheard them. My wit is
Then
immense.
you clearly
Yes.
misheard them. My wit is immense.
Nice. That's a good comeback.
Oh, you looked out with that one. Well, what a surprise. Eivor of the Raven clan is a true talent.
I actually chose the last one, so
Don't
that
believe
means
everything
even
you
I'm
hear,
witty too. So
Unless it touches on my flighting, then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven our sharp tongue and wit, I think it's time for a bit more relaxing activity. So we're fishing here.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
you can
it.
do that too.
So we gave Eivor a
This
fishing
reminds me a
line, so you
lot
can
of
actually
Red
throw
Dead.
out a
A
line
lot of Red
and-
Dead.
and go catch some fish. This is used basically to play into our new health loop where the player will lose health in the world.
Red
and
Dead
it
was
doesn't
like one of the
automatically
most
generate
interactive
like we would have in the
game
past. So you
that I've
actually
ever
have to
played,
go out
and this feels
get
just like that.
some supplies, so you'll find mushrooms and some food that you can gather. But here, like you can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have it in certain quests, so it's a good way to sort of chill out on the side of the water and just again take it all in.
I hope there are different kinds of fishes because that would actually make it a lot more interesting.
Here, but
Okay, this
what
is stealth,
exactly
right?
is Eivor chasing down?
Yeah,
Okay.
so here you're seeing Eivor running down one of our tattoo images. So this is challenging the player on free run abilities.
Oh,
but
nice.
also
So it's
for
like a practice
fans
run.
of the series, sort of pulling at their heartstrings for some beloved features.
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes, by collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts
Oh,
and different
nice.
tattoos everywhere. So again, another form of expression, and it's sort of
A poor victim of someone's fury.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about exploration and just finding things out in the world, I was just wandering and came across this clearing and found this kind of morbid altar.
Yeah, so this is one of our bigger events that we have scattered in the world. So as Eivor explores, she can find altars like this, and by interacting with them, here it's a trap that's been set by this character named Regan. Now, there's a bigger story behind all this. There's multiple steps to it later on. So this is one of the moments. It permits us to go into a slightly more mystical realm and play with a boss fight that has more magical abilities, if we will.
Ooh, damn.
Basically have this awesome boss fight in the middle of the swamps.
Oof.
And so here the abilities that you see Regan using are a little bit on the mystical side of things. What's happening is Eivor at the beginning in that trap is poisoned, and so she starts sort of hallucinating, seeing the world in a sort of different light and filter. And so that's sort of what lets us go into the realm of the weird.
This reminds me a lot of Far Cry 4, I think. Far Cry 4, yeah, the Himalayan one, where you would like go to the temples and there you would have some freaky ass fights. Like it was so super otherworldly. This reminds me a lot of that. She's almost dead. Yes, you're dead.
Arrest your demons.
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to something called the Daughters of Lyria.
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, you'll get a little bit more backstory on who they are, so we don't want to spoil that too much. But it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main path in any way, but it's still very rich and adds.
The combat is good, man. I am really impressed with the combat. It is much more complex than the last game. A lot more animations, and it feels like we have a lot of weapons, which has like different characteristics to them.
Here it's all about pacing yourself with the
now
highs
that's
and the lows.
a
So here
view.
we have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn.
Oh,
Fizz,
that looks
Thank you
good.
so much for joining us. When and where can people
Finally.
play?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be out on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 and is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on November 17th.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Now that looks really good. Alright, so that was the gameplay. I think this video might be too long, and there were a lot of parts which were unnecessary in the gameplay, where they included some story aspect into it, which wasn't really needed, because I wanted to just see the gameplay mechanics, the graphics, and also how the different quest and side quest is going to be, which they did show, but also they did show a lot of the story, which was not really needed. But anyways, who am I to complain? But it looks really good, man. I got a lot of feels from Red Dead and some other games as well, but I'm thinking that they have done some really good improvements, some really large improvements to make the environment and the open world feel even more immersed for the players, and I feel like it's gonna pay off. So that was just a demo, and it's clearly stated that it is not a final work, but the demo already looks good, so I'm willing to bet that the final game would look even better. I mean, Odyssey was a really good looking game. That was some really good looking game with really good story and gameplay mechanics, and I feel like they have improved upon this. So yeah, I'm actually pretty pumped up for this game right now. First, when I saw the trailer, it was so good. I was so hyped, and now after watching the gameplay, I would say that that's been reassured. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I'm not going to talk for too long anymore, because if I do, it's going to be even longer than this video already is. So that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what's your thoughts on this gameplay and also on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Let me know down in the comment section below what are your thoughts on the gameplay and everything else. If you liked it, you know what to do. All those typical YouTube stuff that YouTubers say, just do it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, and peace and stay safe.